Hey guys, how are you? In this video we'll talk about the second most populous city in Texas, San Antonio. We'll take a look at the major sites, talk to locals, and spend the day with my friend. And so, lots to cover. Let's get started. San Antonio has a population of 1.4 million residents. It was founded as a Spanish mission and a colonial outpost. In 1718, when this area was still part of the Spanish Empire, the city contains 5 Spanish frontier missions, including the Alamo. These outposts were established by Catholic religious orders to spread Christianity among the local natives. They were formed as a part of colonization that stretched across the Spanish Southwest in the 17th, 18th, and 19th centuries. Let's take a look at downtown first. Downtown San Antonio is now your typical central business district with no life. After working hours, you can stroll down the Riverwalk to browse galleries and art opening, enjoying some live music. Drift to know the water. A boat trip is a great way to experience this historic area. This beautiful serene walkway is linked to some of the finest hotels and restaurants downtown San Antonio has to offer. It was extended an additional 13 miles between 2009 and 2013. Along the river you'll find Marriage Island, which sits in the middle of the river and is used for weddings. It is heart-shaped, so they say it brings good luck to new marriages. Briscoe Western Art Museum. It's a modern museum with art and artifacts reflecting the history and culture of the American West. But for many Americans, the main reason to visit San Antonio is the Alamo, one of the most recognized symbols of Texas. A lot of people are shocked to find out that the Alamo was so small. The Alamo, and 18th century Spanish mission that's been preserved as a museum, marks an infamous 1836 battle for Texas independence from Mexico. 188 Texan volunteers heroically fought against the Mexican army, many times superior, for 13 days. Unfortunately, all the defenders were killed, but their heroism raised the morale of other Texas militias, who 6 weeks later defeated the Mexicans in the Battle of San Jacinto. This is 1803 Louisiana Purchase. Well, if you could picture Texas, the northeast part was called Texas, like for Macadocious. East was Texas. I'll play the Red River. Arkansas, that was Texas. The rest of it was all New Spain, Mexico. And this is what the Tejanos were fighting for. This was their land. Let's see what other attractions the city's got to offer, and then we'll talk about what it's like living here. The Tower of the Americas is a 750 foot observation tower with a revolving restaurant at the top that provides panoramic views of the city. It was the tallest observation tower in the U.S. from 1968 until 1996, when the Las Vegas Stratosphere Tower was completed. La Torre de la Amistad, which is Spanish for the torture friendship, is a monumental abstract structure given by the Mexican government to the city of San Antonio in 2002. The Majestic Theater is a gorgeous theater where you can watch a concert or show, like a show of Bill Maher. Tobin Center for Performing Arts is a great place for anything from symphonies to rock concerts to stage performances, and they say the acoustics are amazing there. Where are we? I'm lost. In Japanese Tea Garden in San Antonio. If you need a place to unwind, go to Japanese Tea Garden, a marvelous place. They have lots of colorful fish in different plants. It's perfect for a short hike and has lots of great spots for pictures. It was opened in an abandoned limestone quarry in the early 20th century. What a place. What a place. We are in Japanese Tea Gardens, guys. And funny thing is, we were passing by them and said Chinese Tea Garden. I'm like, did they confuse the name? But there's a reason for that. So during World War II, the US was against Japan, among other countries, and so to keep it from vandalism, they renamed it to Chinese Tea Garden, but now they restored the original name. So that's the secret. But oh boy, it's just so hot in here, man. I'm sweating, and it's just 95 outside, so I can't even imagine what it's gonna feel like in July and August, when it's gonna top like 100 Fahrenheit, because the humidity makes it almost unbearable. Oh, need some air conditioning. Welcome to Texas. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. We're in Texas, and everything is big in Texas. Behind me is the world's largest cowboy boots. I'm sure you've seen pictures of the world's largest cowboy boot statue. It's also located in San Antonio at North Star Mall entrance. It's a sculpture by the late artist Bob Daddy Oway entitled The Giant Justins. This is not my size, guys. The Alamo Dome is a famous 64,000-seat indoor domed multi-purpose stadium where you can watch a lot of things, from the annual college football Alamo Bowl to a monster truck show. Historic Market Square is the largest Mexican market in the U.S. It's a 3-block outdoor plus aligned with shops and restaurants. Every year the city is visited by 32 million tourists. It's also home home to the five-time NBA champion San Antonio Spurs and hosts the annual San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo, one of the largest such events in the U.S. San Antonio is the largest majority Hispanic city in the U.S. Besides the historical park, the city's got some cool neighborhoods like the Pearl District, which once was an industrial area, but now it's been transformed into a hip and vibrant neighborhood, taking its name from the former Pearl Brew House built in 1894. The 16-block district now contains a huge and varied array of shops, restaurants, bars, coffee shops, the Culinary Institute of America, as well as twice-weekly farmers market. The Pearl District is kind of the hipster alternative to the Riverwalk. That's not as famous, but probably more authentic and a little more old school. What's your name, man? My name is Seth and I live in San Antonio, Texas, and we're down here at the Pearl, and he was asking what's special about it. I don't really know, it's just really nice and it's kind of got a good ambience and there's a lot of girls everywhere, so I like riding my bike down here. If you can pick any city to live in the U.S., what would it be? Oh, don't ask me that. It would probably be San Francisco. Man, I love the breeze, but I mean San Diego. I grew up here. I grew up out of town. San Antonio has been my home city, so all my family is here. I like it. I mean, it's got a lot of cool stuff if you get out and try, look for things, but yeah, I enjoy here. What do you like to do in the city? Man, I ride my bike a lot all the time, but I usually will hit bars, but I like the historical aspect. I could ride my bike and hit like missions and check out where like different fights were at and stuff. For me, that's cool. I like geography, so there's a lot of history in the city with all the Alamos and other stuff. I don't know, man, I always find stuff to do. There's a lot of cool people. Everybody's very friendly. I've traveled a lot of places and Texas is one of the friendlier ones. I think in New York, when it comes to economy, San Antonio has a diversified economy with a gross domestic product of approximately $121 billion as of 2018. The local economy focuses primarily on military, healthcare, government service, financial services, oil and gas, and tourism. San Antonio has the headquarters of 4 Fortune 500 companies: Valero Energy, USAA, iHeartMedia, and Nestor Energy. Whataburger. Unfortunately, the city lost several major company headquarters in the recent years, the largest being the 2008 move of it to Dallas. The city is home to one of the largest concentrations of military bases in the U.S. with 300 active military personnel. The city of San Antonio and its metropolis was rated the poorest in 2019, with an estimated 16.8% of the population living at or below the poverty line. In 2019, households had a median income of $53,500 a year. There are still some wealthy neighborhoods, though. Uptown Broadway is home to a concentrated area of old money bedroom communities. These communities are Alamo Heights, Almost Park, Lincoln Heights, and Terrell Hills. Even though it's the second largest city in the U.S., it still has a small town feel. Public transportation in the city is very minimal. It's one of the most car-dependent cities in the U.S. San Antonio is not known as being a particularly bike-friendly city either, but it's making progress. There's definitely demand for that as the city's bike share programs experienced a pandemic-induced bike and ridership. Our friend, and who was born in Vietnam and came to the US at the age of 14, lives in San Antonio, so let's talk to him. Welcome to San Antonio. Thank you. Maybe I should say a Russian accent. Welcome to San Antonio. It's possible.